Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I thought I would talk to you guys about one of the things that we get questioned the most on our Instagram, which I haven't even prompted you this, but can you guess what it is?
No.
Please guess.
How did you meet such a charming individual like Paul?
Close.
How did you meet?
Close. We did that one already.
We've done that already.
So, think about it. You suggested this on a live the other day with one of the questions we get asked the most. You said this to this girl. How do you find someone to be in an interracial relationship with? Not so many words.
Right.
Do you remember the question now?
No.
How do I find a white person?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now you say it like that. Now you say it like that.
So that is one of the questions we get asked all the time. Usually it's either from like one person of either race being like, how do I find a girl like you? Or how do I find a guy like you?
Yeah.
And it's one of these things where it's not like we necessarily put a science behind it, but after now that it's happened, I think I've learned a thing or two.
I find it strange because I never set out with a goal to be like, my ex-girlfriend, she's gotta be black.
Yeah.
Like, it just happened.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I can really answer because, like, that's what I struggle with. When they ask that question, I'm like, I don't know.
Just happened.
It just happened, yeah.
So that brings me to point number one. Learn to love who you can love, right? Because I do think with saying that, I want to start this video off with, like, I do think you have natural attraction to people, but equally so, I don't want to ever make it sound like we are saying one race is better to date than the other, or because sometimes I feel like it's almost like people put a certain race on a pedestal a little bit. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so disclaimer. But with that being said, I do think there's a few things that I can speak for from like a black girl's perspective. Number one, girls, be approachable. Be approachable, because I think sometimes we can kind of have the sass about ourselves and attitude, and from a guy's perspective, I don't think that's very approachable, is it?
No.
You were afraid to get turned down, weren't you?
Yeah.
I will not forget, you said to me, you were like, I won't go in for the kiss or something like that unless I absolutely know for certain I'm not gonna get turned down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit of me. Hate rejection.
But who likes it?
No one.
No one likes it.
I don't know, I feel like there are some people out there that just don't care. They're like, right, next. But I'm like, go home, lie in bed thinking about it, crying. A bit of a girl, really.
So, with that, I think girls and guys, make yourself like approachable, because no one's gonna come after you if you look like you're gonna be one, hard work, two, like a bitch. Right? So you agree with me on that?
Yeah, don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch, yeah. Smile. Equally so, I'm gonna hold him to task a little bit. If you're interested in somebody, just go for it. Just go for it. Because I think for me, there's definitely people that I have been interested in the past, but I was thinking...
Played it cool.
Yeah.
Like, hard to get, and they just went...
Not hard to get. I think hard to get and play it cool is two completely different things. Play it cool is nonchalant, like you don't care and you're not interested. And hard to get is, I'm interested, but you can have this.
I've done it all, I think, in the past.
I think we all have.
I've been someone I'm totally not. Like, and I look back and I think, oh, what were you playing at?
Totally.
Things could have been so different for me.
Do you want it to be different for you? I can make it different for you.
But yeah, it's like, I've done the like, just stand there and like...
Too cool.
Get the pipe. And then, in the end, I just...
Lost them.
Went on Tinder.
Yeah. But still, even through Tinder, I think, like, that's not foolproof.
No. Do you feel like I was the same person that you're speaking to? Or do you feel like my bants was different?
No, I think you were the same, but equally so. I remember being like at work and texting you and being like, you're really invested. And you're like, yeah. So I think for me that made me a little bit more comfortable that like I could just be me, right? But I think, I mean, I was old when you met me already, so I feel like you can't...
Terrible bants then, terrible bants now.
No, I feel like because I was like older, there was like no way that like I could not be myself.
Yeah, but when I first met you though, or when I first matched with you, I was like, this ain't real. I was like, where's all your pictures? Like, professional pictures? And you're like, because they are professional pictures. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah, but that's why...
Catfish.
That's why it's good that Tinder can let you link your Instagram.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, I think she is real. And I had to go around with a couple of people and I was like, do you think that's real? And they were like, yeah, I think that's real. That. I think that's real. Open-minded.
Yes. And equally so, okay, this is something that, like, I found people said to me, and I've said this to you, but you said you weren't, and I don't feel like you were. But, like, don't be intimidated by someone of a different race. I feel like I hear this about, like, black girls all the time, is, like, guys are just intimidated by them. But I feel like, this is a massive stereotype, but I feel like a lot of black women can be very opinionated, and that, I don't think that should put a guy off, but I think, well, I don't know, you tell me, does that put a guy off?
Well, if you just met someone and they're just like everything, if you're disagreeing with everything you say from the word go, then you're going to be a bit like, oh, well, I don't think we got a lot in common.
Sounds like you have personal experience.
But like, I don't know.
You did alright.
Yeah, I did alright.
It's really funny because looking back, I've had so many people and like friends, non-friends, strangers say to me like, oh Nicole, like you're really intimidating. And I remember saying this next statement to people, like if a guy is intimidated by me, they're not the person for me. Because if you can be intimidated by me, I feel like I'm not gonna dull myself down or censor myself to make someone else feel more comfortable. So that's why I like the next point of like, don't be intimidated. But equally so, girls, if you're hearing this, or guys, if you're hearing this, if you're feeling like the other person is feeling intimidated by you, understand that like they might not be the person for you, which is like crazy because you are a sensitive soul, aren't you?
A little bit.
A little bit. And I just think back, like you are a bit of a sensitive soul, and if you weren't intimidated by me, I feel like that answer of she's too intimidated is such a cop-out.
That's a fair point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there was one person in specific, and I'm obviously not going to say his name, but
go on.
No, we were at church and he said something to me, like we were talking about dating and stuff, and like he was with somebody, so he wasn't like, it wasn't anything like that. But he said to me, he was like, Nicole, I think the thing is with you is that like I think a lot of guys find you intimidating. And I was like, at what? You know? And I think, yeah, I can be very headstrong, but then equally so now we're married, I've met you, and you are like the most sensitive person out there.
I will say though, I am yet to win an argument.
Yeah, but that's different. You still like made a go.
Yeah.
You know? And I think equally so, that just means like if a guy is like too intimidated by you, they weren't willing to try for you, or they gave up, or they were too insecure to even try. Right?
Yeah. Another thing is,
sorry, that's very chicken scratch.
Is don't be afraid.
No, seriously, like don't be afraid, because I've been, okay, do you want to know why I wrote that?
Right.
Is that because like there's been guys that I've been interested in, but like I was afraid that they didn't like black girls. I shared a TikTok and then I also recreated a TikTok, and I think only like people of a different race can really understand this, but where you meet someone and you literally have to think like, do they like black girls?
Yeah.
That's something I don't really think you ever, well, actually, you have had to think that before, haven't you?
Yeah. Do they like white guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't diminish it.
Yeah. It is a bit, like, you never know, do you? It's personal preference, but like that could be the same for anything. Like you could be blonde. You're like, oh, I wonder if they like blonde guys.
Yeah, but I don't think that you're gonna see how much I've thought of this, but like it's not the same for a blonde, because if you want to be a blonde, you can go box dye your hair and color yourself blonde.
True.
Whereas when it's a skin color, you can't change that.
You can't change it.
Well, you could change it. I mean, you could tan if you want, but
I tried. I tried this weekend.
There was a girl in high school who literally tanned so much she was literally darker than me. And like she wasn't white. I mean, she wasn't black, right? So anyways, next point was like, don't be afraid. Have you ever dated like a black girl before?
Yeah.
You did date a black girl before?
Yeah.
How did it go for you?
Well, not well, obviously.
Stupid question.
I'm still seeing her now.
Okay, cool. So you've dated outside of your race before?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've dated outside of my race and I've dated in my race.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That's think about that,
That many people. Yeah, so like I've dated like outside of my race and I've dated one person within my race. But I think the only thing that was easier when it was like inside my race is that we had the same culture.
Yeah. Like
his parents are Guyanese, so there was a lot, I felt like we were able to connect on a different wavelength, I guess. But equally so, it was like barely date. Like probably shouldn't even call it a date. probably shouldn't call it a relationship. It was very like loosey-goosey and like... Yeah. Right? But did you find any differences when you dated someone outside of yours?
Not particularly, but like again, it wasn't like...
Wasn't super serious?
No.
Yeah.
So, no.
Interesting. Okay, so do you feel like what we've like said so far, it's just kind of like, just go for it?
Yeah. Don't be afraid is probably that covers like a lot.
Everything.
Because...
Don't be afraid and don't assume.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, I've definitely like was afraid, which then made me assume that they were not going to be into me or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah? You'd agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Alright, so here are some of the ways that we have noticed that if you are looking for an interracial relationship, some of the ways that you might be able to connect, because again, one of the main reasons I'm making this video is whenever we get asked this question on DM, I can just send this video to them. So truly, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you, well, one, just are looking for love no matter what race they are.
Yeah.
And two, yeah, I hope that you can find it useful. So here's some of the ways that we have found you can find interracial relationships. You want to see that one?
Your handwriting needs some improvement. Interracial dating sites.
Or any dating site, really. I think the thing
is there a like specific interracial dating site?
Yeah, there's tons.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's tons. But yeah, so there are interracial dating sites out there, but I feel like some of them, I don't know, I'd question the I can't say that word.
Legitimacy.
Thank you. I would question the legitimacy. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
I would check
I thought
that.
you had your brace in then, the way you said that.
I can never. There's certain words I just can't say properly. But yeah, I would just do your due diligence. I can't.
That's easy for you to say.
I would just say do your due diligence and make sure that it's like a legit website. But equally so, I think one of the things that I loved about Tinder and you and I is that it's a split-second decision, which sometimes is bad. I think, you know, there's more to us than that split-second decision. And if you saw the How We Met video, you would know that I almost didn't swipe on you, right? And that could have been a decision that changed my life.
Yeah.
Right? But
God, things could be so different.
But
another cool little tip is like if you're struggling, just like pay for Tinder Plus and then just super like all the people in the race you like.
Well, that's where I was going with my point before you cut me off. Is that the cool thing about like when it is like a site like Tinder or something like that, you can swipe on all of the race that you find attractive, right? So I mean, you liked black women, so you swiped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then where did it get you?
In a whole lot of trouble.
Right. So yeah, a dating site or equally so, you can really use any dating site, but just specify what you're into by swiping on them or in your profile. Okay, another cool one that I've like noticed, which I don't know if I would have felt comfortable using it, but for the amount of messages that we get saying, I need someone like your husband, I like your husband.
Do you get those things?
I can show you. Yeah, I might even use them in the thumbnail.
You start pimping me out.
You want to get a new wife? Right. Or does your husband have any friends? Does your husband have any cousins, brothers, anything like that? Here's the thing. A lot of you guys have found us from the hashtags that we use on our Instagram. So, using hashtags on Instagram.
Yeah.
We also have a course called Hash It Out.
You could be like sliding into
yeah,
DMs.
so you can slide into the DMs. If you are interested in like learning more about hashtags, we do have a hashtag course. It could probably assist you in your dating as well if you wanted it to. But yeah, I think hashtags are something that is definitely underrated.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought to do that.
Yeah.
But
there
if
you
we ever divorce.
Next point. Facebook groups. You don't know this because you don't have Facebook, but there are a ton of interracial relationship Facebook groups, which I think is kind of nice because unlike a dating site where you have to like pay to use usually, a Facebook group could work for you.
They think of everything these days, don't they?
Yeah, they really, really do. Anyways, guys, that is it from us. If you have any tips of how you go about dating interracially, let us know in the comment section down below. Not that I think we'll use it, but maybe we can pass it on if we ever do a part 2.
Yeah, go dating interracially.
Oh, maybe like what's that show where they go to the different people's houses and have the dinner?
Yeah.
Dine With Us or something like that?
Dinner date, or something like that.
No.
Celebrity dinner date.
No,
Dinner date.
no, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Come dine with me. They
Yeah.
don't date. Come dine with me.
Yeah, I know, but this is a new spin.
There is one where they do go dating.
I know, I've seen
and
that
then they
one.
get the microwave.
Yeah,
milk.
but I don't like that one. I'm talking about where they go to the people's houses. Because there was actually a dating one like that. The guy went to 3 different girls' houses.
Yeah, that's the one where they get the microwave meal if you don't like them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one in the restaurant.
No, I was on about the house one.
Yeah.
And it's
But yeah.
called dinner date, I think, and there's celebrity dinner date.
Yeah, dinner date. Maybe you can like organize a interracial dinner date in your area.
Mistake.
Okay, bye guys. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And like the video if you haven't liked it. And comment if you haven't commented. Yeah, don't be mean.
Don't be mean.
We're not trying to be racist or anything like that. Don't be mean.